Hello guys, what's going on? Welcome to Mbel-Techyz. In this video, I'll be showing you some tips and tricks on how to use Visual Studio Code or some shortcut keyboards that will be helpful in Visual Studio Code. And this trick will help. It will improve your productivity and it will make your workflow go very fast. So first of all, let's start with the installation. How you can install Visual Studio Code. Let's go to any browser. For me, I'll use the Google Chrome. You can use any browser um, that that suits you. Let me just type download VSCode. So it's going to bring you to their web page. So it's going to bring out this. So just click on the first link over here. Now it's going to take you to it's going to navigate you to this page. So where you can download um, Visual Studio Code for whichever version or whichever operating system you are using. For me, I'm using the Windows. So in a case where I want to download for Windows, and I will just click on the Windows this Windows link. And for those of us using the Mac, or sorry, if you are using the Linux operating system, you can download for the Linux. For those of you that are using Ubuntu, you can download for Ubuntu for your operating system. And for those of us using the Mac PC, like the MacBooks, you can just come over here and download for your link. And also don't forget, you must know your system bits. So if your PC bit is actually 64 bits, just come over here, click on 64 bit if you start downloading. And if it's 32 bit, click on 32 bit, it's going to start downloading. So make sure you don't commit this error, because if your system is 32 bit and you download for 64 bit, it's just only going to download, it's not going to install. So don't waste your megabyte, don't waste your data. So when you download it, you are going to have it in your download folder. Let me go back to my desktop. I have my desktop over here. So I brought it to my desktop over here from my download folder. So this is my setup icon. So the next thing we'll go over is the installation. Let me just disconnect my so it's the installation. So when you want to install, there are some mistakes most of beginners makes, or some people make when installing Visual Studio Code. They just go on to just install without reading some concepts and without applying some functionalities to it. Now let me just double click on this. So you double click on it, it's going to open. So it's going to pop out this user access control. Click on yes. When you click on yes, accept their terms and agreement. Now just keep clicking on yes till you get to this page over here. So this page actually it has some functionalities that will help you. Now make sure you check all these boxes. For this box, this one is just like a create desktop icon. When I click on this and install, it's going to create a desktop icon for me like this, a VS Code desktop icon. And these boxes will help you, like you'll be able to open your folder directly with VS Code. So just click on that, go to next and start installing. So you start installing, so you don't have to install. I don't need to install it again because I've already installed it. So now what I'll do is that I'll create a folder. Always work with a folder, please guys. I'll recommend you always work with a folder, because doing that is just going to help you to be able to track your items or your files. So now for me, I'll create a folder here. I'll right click on my desktop. When you right click on your desktop, you see new. When you click on new, it's going to pop out folder. So click on folder, then you can rename your file to anything you want. So to rename your file, the first shortcut key you can use is what? F12. Sorry, F2. Your F2 key. You use your F2 key to rename the folder. All you need to do is just to click on it, make sure you're on it, then you use your F12. So let me rename it. Let me call it VS VSCode underscore tips underscore tricks. So type my enter key. So now I have my folder over here. Now I want to open this folder directly with VS Code. All I need to do is just to right click on my folder, then I'll see an option that says what, open with code. This option is actually there because of one of the boxes that we checked initially when we're installing. So I'll just will do what, open with code. So it's going to open, yeah, that's open directly with my VS Code. So in this situation, I don't need to just go to VS Code. So when I get to VS Code, just start creating a folder. That would be very, very boring, and it won't make sense. So let me maximize my desktop. So this is just like the welcome interface, welcoming page for Visual Studio Code. You can just read some things about it, but for me, I'll just get rid of it because that's not what I'm here to do. So let me get rid of it. Now you have your folder name over here, which says which is VS Code tips and trick that we created. Now you can see this very first icon which says new file. This second one says new folder. This is just that when you want to create a new file in your folder. So I'll definitely be creating a folder. I'll definitely be creating a file, and the file I'll be creating HTML file. So I'll be working with HTML file. So to show you the tricks and the shortcut keyboards that you can use in Visual Studio Code. Also, you can create a folder, and this is just for refreshing the Explorer in case you make an update and it's not reflecting in your Visual Studio Code. All you need to do is just to click on this and it's going to refresh. And this is just for you to collapse the Explorer. I'll give you the shortcut key to collapse the Explorer. So let's get started. Let me click on new file and name my file. Let me name it index.html because I said I'm going to be working with HTML file. So don't worry guys, yours might not be of this, it might not be this color, and this icon might not be there. So in your case, for the first time you are using VS Code, you have some angle brackets in orange color. Don't worry. What I did was that I downloaded an extension in Visual Studio Code that will just beautify my workspace. So, and Visual Studio Code is just like an interface that we use to write a code. It's a text editor that we use to write almost any kind of programming language. So which is one of the best programming language as at 2022. So now guys, again, in case you make and let's say you make a mistake in your naming when you are creating a file, you can just use F2 to rename the file. It's going to highlight, then you can rename it or change it to whatever you wish. So when I create my file over here, I have my interface, HTML interface here, just for me to start coding. So guys, in HTML, to start declaring the document, what most of us do is that we just do exclamation, we do less than angle bracket exclamation, then we type our doc type. Actually suggestions is coming up, so it's going to pop out suggestions if you are using HTML file, and these suggestions are actually what they are pre-installed on Visual Studio Code. That helps us to we don't need to like type everything, or we don't need to code everything. We can just do some few tricks and it's going to do the work that we want it to do. So in most cases, we all do something like this: doc type HTML, go to the next line, HTML, then inside our HTML we have something like head, and we also have what, body. So instead of doing this, then in the body we always like have our codes. So with Visual Studio Code, you can actually you can do this in a more faster way and in a more smarter way. So all you need to do, let me just highlight it and clear it. All you need to do is to press your exclamation key, which is Shift 1. You press Shift 1 and press enter or tab. Automatically it's going to generate this document type for you correctly. So you can just rename your title. Let me name it, I'm going to name it VS Code tips and what, and tricks. All right, so let me just have something here and say what, hello world. so I'll be able to display the result in my browser. I'll know if it's working. So hello world, and my hello world is working. Now what most of us do to view the result of this hello world is that we just go to copy path. Some of us don't even know the copy path. Some of us just do, we go to our desktop, then we open our folder, then we just when you double click on it, then it's going to open your hello world. Now can you see it's actually working, but I'll be using a live server to do that. So you don't need to just come over to your desktop, do this kind of stressful work. And another case is that some of us, even we just do copy path. We come over here to right click. When you right click, you click on what copy path, then you say what you do is just to go to your browser. Let me cancel this. Let me go back to my browser. So then you paste. When you use Control V to paste, then it's still going to bring out your result. In a case whereby it's not showing your results, maybe for the first time, if it's not showing your results, your output correctly, or if it's not showing any output, just go back to your VS Code and click on file, make sure you have it saved, or it's good you just have your autosave checked. It's going to help you a lot. In most cases, always check your autosave. So that's that. Now another thing we can do is that like I said earlier, I'll be using Visual Studio. I'll be using Live Server to display my output. Live Server is actually an extension in Visual Studio Code that helps us to automatically reload our page that automatically helps us to display the output of our code, and without even going to our browser and keep doing refreshing all the time. With the help of Visual Studio Code, we can do that, or we can do that with the help of Visual Studio Code. Now just to download the extension, just come over here to extensions. So extensions, and if you want to search for live server, or make sure your system is connected to internet. So just search for live server. When you search for live server, it's going to display. So I'm not connected right now, so because I have it installed already. So this is live server. I have live server installed. So when you click on live server, it's going to display this, and make sure you just install it. In your own case, you have to search for it and make sure it is this live server. Launch a development local server with live reload. So just come over here, install, and make sure it's enabled. Always enable it, because I'm very sure you won't want it to be disabled. So just keep it enabled all the time. So, and my color themes, the way I have my color theme is I'm using I think I'm using material theme. I'm using material theme. So just come over to material theme, set color. When you download it or you search for it, material theme, set color theme. So, and you have your color theme. You can select whichever color theme you want. So, and also for my icons, I downloaded what's called Visual Studio Code icons. Then I set it to I installed it, then I set it as my file icon theme. So now another trick again to get rid of this extension page, or this extension explorer, you can use what Control B, Control Bravo. So B for Bravo, Control B, Control B. It will actually get rid of this browser. So when I type my Control B, can you see it's the browser has gone. When I type Control B again, it's actually back. So let me just go back to my explorer and let me cancel this page. So and I use Control B. So that's that. So guys, again, I'll be showing you how to navigate through another folder. To navigate a folder, what you need to do is just to use your Control plus Tab. So in case you have previous folder that you've been working with, if you want to just go to that folder without exiting your Visual Studio Code, you can use your Control Tab. Then when you type your Control Tab, it's just going to bring out the display of, it's going to list out the files or the folders from this top. It's going to list it out, but I've not done that, or I've not created any folder from this, so I don't need to. It's not going to display. So, and you can also use Control R. Control R will also display the folder. Control R, can you see, it's going to display the windows or the folders that you've been using before. So when I do Control R, can you see it displayed all my previous working folders. So okay, and again, in the case where you are coding and you want to have a text in some places, maybe like you want to have a certain text but you don't know what to write, you just want like a text to be a placeholder at that point, and you don't know what to write, maybe like probably in future you will know what to write and come and maybe like make changes. So just for you to just make some to make that happen, you can just type what, lorem. Lorem is an extension in VS Code, a pre-installed extension in VS Code that actually it generates dummy text for you. So when I type lorem and enter, can you see is actually it generated some dummy text for me. So it generated dummy text, and actually the text I can't read it. I don't want to read it because it's going to because it's a dummy text actually, so you don't need to read it. Now it's just for you to just it's just for temporary cases. In case you don't know what to write, then you can just type lorem, then in future you can just go back to it and make some changes. Now another trick I'll be showing you is that, now guys, can you see that I'm having a scroll bar here? I don't want a situation where I'll be having scroll bar. I will have to, like, I don't want to be scrolling through my interface to get or to see the other content. All I have to do is to type what, Alt Z or Alt Z for we Nigerians. Alt Z actually is going to wrap all your text, or you just come to option what is it, okay, yeah, I think it's view. Yeah, when you come to view, see what, Alt Z, just click on wrap. On the key, the shortcut key is what, Alt Z. So you can just type what, it's going to wrap it for you. So, and again guys, maybe in a case whereby you want 100 words, you can just type what, lorem 100. It's going to generate 100 words for you. If it's 10 words you want, you just do what, lorem 10. It's going to generate 10 words for you. So when we count it, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, these are 10 words. And if you want to generate 1000 words, you can do that. But guys, I know we always want to like try something different. Don't try don't try lorem 9 billion or 9 trillion or something, because most of us, we want to definitely try that, because when you type lorem 10, it will generate 10 words for you. You type lorem 100, it generated 100 words for you. Please guys, don't do lorem 99999, or don't just do a very very high figure. Your Windows will your VS Code might crash, or it will take time to load. It's going to hang. Definitely it's going to hang. Even if it's going to display, it's going to hang. So I just recommend you just do a very small amount of word. Probably just do, it's just best for you to just do lorem 1000. So if you want 1000, 10,000 words, maybe just duplicate that. So all right, guys, what I want to do is again is that I want to duplicate this line. So I want to just duplicate it. I can do that instead of highlighting, doing it the normal way, highlighting, then you right click, maybe you do what, you do Control C, copy, that. You can actually use your what, the shortcut keyboard of what, Shift Alt down key. So when you use your Shift Alt down arrow key, it's going to duplicate it for you. So I just keep doing that. So can you see it's duplicating my word or my content for me. So just, you can do that to just, it will save your workflow, and it will increase your productivity actually. So Also, maybe like when you're coding and you want to make a list in HTML. So when you want to make a list, we definitely know we used to do something like, if it's on ordered list, we do what? We do UL. Then inside it we have like li first list. Then maybe let's name it something, or let's say mm, let me say or I should name it, let me say item item one. Then you can just, if you want to duplicate, you can do what? Shift or to down. That will also work, but you can also do it this way. You can make your list and say what? Li times, if it's five lists you want to make, you can say what? Li times 5, then press your enter. Then it will actually generate 5 lists for you. All you just need to do is to start what? Editing. So this is one. Come to the next line, edit 2, like that, or stuff like that. Just keep doing that. And also, in a case whereby you want a link in your list, you can actually do what? Li times, let me use 4 times 4, then use what? Greater than what? Link, that is greater than a, is going to generate what? You have a link inside your list, which will be it should be 5 or 4 links, or the amount of links that you multiply it by. So you can actually do a lot of this. So this will actually increase your productivity and improve your workflow. So that's that for this video. I hope you guys find it helpful. In future I'll be dropping a lot of helpful content that will help you, and when I find some tricks again with VS Code, I'll be updating you guys. So all I want you to do is just to click on the subscribe button and click on the notification bell for you to be aware anytime I drop a new video. Thank you guys.